Welcome to Canadian PGA TV. We're here in the 10th tee. Myself and Scott Pritchard, Associate Director of the Ontario PGA, and our starter for the week, Scott, down here at the Titleist and FootJoy Canadian PGA Professional Championship. Brand new leader, Dave Zebrick of Westwood Plateau, the Westwood Plateau Golf Academy, down here, a rookie in the CPC. Doesn't seem too nervous or too shy yet because he's now 6 under par, a great round today, a 4 under par, 68, and he's got a one-shot lead over Marcus Giroir of beautiful Quebec. But Scott, you talked about it earlier, that this guy hits the ball hard. You saw him on the first tee. Tell us about this guy's golf game.
He just low-key, just seems happy to be here and hits the ball extremely hard, extremely long. I actually played a practice round. I was in front of him, and his ball was, we were looking back, and we're like, oh, my God, like this guy's carrying bunkers that we didn't think were carryable.
Yeah.
Off the opening tee shot, it's 280 to carry the bunker, and like just taking dead aim right at the bunker, right over it, no problem.
Yeah. No, you know what? You saw him after the round, and I think he asked you,
Well, he was in the scoring tent, and he asked me what the lead was, and I first initially asked him, I said, "Would you shoot?" He said 68. I said, "Oh, you're 6 under." Yeah. He said, "What's leading?" I said 6 under, and there was a brief pause, longer than brief actually, a moment of silence, if you will, and he was actually quite shocked that he was the leader.
You know, when I asked him about coming down here, he said, a bit of a jaunt. He said, I may have been in 2, 3, 4 airports, I don't really know, but he said, you get here, and what an awesome atmosphere. What a great tournament. I'm still got him here. I'm having a blast. Obviously, when you play well, it helps too, right? But he said, either way, this is a fantastic event. And I asked him earlier about, I'm going to have some phone calls from some media guys. They're going to want to know who you are. And he said, well, you know what? I joined the PGA when I was, I think, 2004. And he said, I played in the Canadian Tour event once, I think, or twice. And I said, he played college golf in Canada at Camosun College. He said, I'm pretty much your full underdog story. So we'll see what happens. I think if he keeps going playing aggressive as he plays, he can be tough to catch.
Definitely. The one thing there's in that top group, there's some guys with some tremendous experience, especially here on the Wanamaker course at PGA Village. Guys like Jeff Booter, Mark Girard, who you mentioned, Danny King is right in the hunt there.
Yep.
Those are, Danny's a past champion. He hasn't won on the Wanamaker course, but definitely those guys have a bit more experience on this golf course, and I think at the end of the day that could prove to be what works for the winner.
So right now we've got Dave at -6, we've got Mark Girard at -5, who's always there, and we've got, as you mentioned, this collection of guys at 4, and Jeff Booter. Let's talk about him for a second. Last year led for 53 straight holes.
Yeah.
The magic that Ben Boudreau had the last 10 minutes there was unbelievable. Jeff said he still was in shock about a month later.
Yeah.
But he said, it feels great to bounce back like that. It's a year later, but to bounce back, pretty impressive.
Well, I spoke to him today again after his round, and he said, yeah, I feel really good. He said, I played, a lot better than yesterday. And I said, well, what happened yesterday? He said he was really nervous. And I asked him why he's nervous. He said he hadn't played in tournament golf since June 15th.
Wow.
His schedule at Point Grey just didn't allow him to get out and play events. And but he said, I felt a lot more comfortable over the ball today, on the golf course. So, hopefully he's shaking those nerves for the first round, and he'll be able to come out and really prove the point that, it's not a fluke that he's been in the top 5 the last 3 or 4 years.
Now tell us about Daniel Santerre, Scott, a guy that we've all met him. He's a really nice guy, and I think even a few eyebrows were raised on the first tee when they meet the guy. He's a really soft-spoken guy, really nice guy, and all of a sudden he pegs it, and this thing is gone.
Oh yeah, he like Zebrick. I don't know if he's as long as Zebrick.
They have about a 30-year gap in age, but
I would wager that he's probably not as long as Zebrick, but he still hits it hard. And for a senior, he's early 50s, and he hits it amazing. And Scott Knapp, actually, who played with him today, he shot 2 under, Scott did, and said, you know what, Scott, if I came to the Club Pro every year and had a chance to play with Daniel Santerre, I would take it every year.
Yeah.
That's and so that's going to be a special group. We have Danny King and Brian Hutton in the second last group, and that's 3 of the nicest guys in the Canadian PGA, and be a great group.
Now, Scott, tell us about the finishing holes. They obviously play a huge impact. 16 guys can easily go for it in 2. Most guys try and go for it in 2.
Yeah.
17 is a bit ridiculous. It's one of the toughest par 3s you ever play. And then 18. We saw there was a lot of others today, some 7s, some triples from guys that are right in the hunt.
Well, 2 of those 3s, Brett Burgesson made triple to shoot 75. He was even par to that point.
Yep.
He's obviously pretty upset with that, and it brings him back to even par for the tournament. And Graham Gunn had a triple there, shot 74. He's 1 under par at that point, and so he'd be disappointed as well. 16. I spoke Danny King today. He made par on 16 and he bogeyed 17. 17 is playing 218 yards. It's downwind, but it's this golf course is such that the wind really plays tricks with you. If you don't figure it out, you sort of get disoriented, to be honest, on the golf course. And that happened to Danny today. He wasn't able to get up and down. He hit it over the green, and he made par on 16. And there was a lot of eagles there throughout the week. I know in the practice rounds, Dennis Firth made an eagle there. David Banks made an eagle there. David Main eagled it yesterday. So it's obviously very eagleable, if that's a word. And Danny made par today. He hit a driver left into the water, had 200 yards in, made par. So it's a good par, but it would feel like a bogey. And then to bogey 17 too. But he said he's excited, and all the guys are excited, and especially those top 6 that are in the last 2 groups.
Now we'll have live scoring for the last 3 groups, Scott. Do you think the volunteers are going to be working pretty hard tomorrow?
Definitely. I mean, there. If you look at the website Event Man and see all the different colors, there's some yellow on there for eagle. There's some red on there for birdies. There's some other. One of the players, I forget who it was, he mentioned he looks like tie-dye. Yeah. Especially if you look at Danielle Santerre's card. I think he's made 13 birdies in the span of the week, and he's only 3 under par. Yeah. So there is some danger lurking in the golf course, but I'm pretty sure the volunteers, especially in those final 2 groups, will see some pretty exciting golf.
Scott, you were there on the first tee with your big booming voice for the last couple of days. Tell us about some of the comments you've heard. I mean, we've got, I believe we've got about 20 new guys for the first time. Some guys from out west. As we said, a long flight, but tell us about some of the feedback so far.
Well, other than my mispronunciation of some French names and some ribbing from our friends at Acushnet, and the comments have been awesome. The guys are, the shirts that they received. I'm wearing one here. The hats that they received. It's got the Canadian PGA logo with the CPC logo, its own proprietary event logo, if you will. And Titleist and FootJoy have treated these guys extremely well. And some guys use it as a vacation for their family, tie it into Disney World, where you were talking to Mark Gerard and his wife's down here, and really enjoying, obviously, watching Mark play some great golf. He made some birdies on the back nine, and he's excited to be here. And I'd like to see Mark win. He's been there before, like we said, and he's a great player, one of the nicest guys in the PGA. All these guys are great guys. But like I said, some guys over there we just saw to our right here playing the short course, Dustin Doyon and Tom Jackson.
Some guys on the range still. Some guys at the pool.
And we were saying earlier, the Titleist has given the new ball out. The guys have had a chance to play the new ball that won't be in markets until March. So they get an opportunity to play the ball and the new driver. A bunch of guys have the new driver in the bag. And, I saw Rob Anderson on the driving range today after his round messing around with it. He had, the wrench in there adjusting all the different.
Almost like kids.
Yeah, exactly. Kids in the candy shop, exactly. So it's been a great week, and the week's not over. Still some major excitement to happen tomorrow. Yeah,
tomorrow we'll have live scoring, last groups as I mentioned, and line hole scoring the rest of the field, and it should be fantastic. I mean, we've got some great storylines there. I mean, if Dave hangs on. Awesome, story. But I mean, the other good stories too, right? And then we don't want anybody in particular to win, but we just want a great day and a great.
Definitely,
great
it will be.
It will be for sure. You can watch it live, folks, on CPJ.com. Follow our videos, our wrap-up show, as well as golfnewsnow.ca. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. And